So I'm about to continue recording my audio book for Inspire Your Mind to Enlighten Your Soul. Before I do so, I was having a little contemplation in my mind. We often put people on a pedestal. I'm not saying we think higher of them than we should. That's the case with some people, but some people are truly amazing. And we sort of think of them, and you can't help but think of a wonderful life you could have with them. And that's still relevant. But within that mindset, it's also worth then backtrack in a moment and sort of reflect upon yourself. People are incredibly self critical. Some people are a bit too egotistical. Some people are very reserved. It's important to find a balance with that. But I think the problem is we're sort of like made to feel like bad for recognizing things we're great at and how amazing we are. I'm going to point out some of my traits now, and I'm going to come across egotistical, arrogant, self-righteous, whatever name you want to call it. And it's like, who gives a shit? And that's the thing with me. I don't care. Now, let's start with the negatives. I'm quite confrontational. I can be very outspoken. I'm very opinionated, stubborn as a mule. All these things just make me, like I say, that confrontational side comes out. So that part where I say, I don't give a shit, that's a genuine feeling in me. I don't care. I just don't. So I can be very abrasive to people. There can be people that have similar intelligence to me, have a similar outlook on life, but how outspoken I am can grind on them. And they, in my opinion, they're flaky. In their opinion, I'm not respectful, I guess, in some way. It's just like, I get it. Just yin yang. It just doesn't work, does it? So that's my negatives. My negatives are that I hate injustice. So I have integrity. So there's like everything's polarizing, It's like opposites. I often say this, especially in my books, is the negatives of us are not our weakness, though. They're actually our strengths. Those are the things that protect us and make us resilient. If I didn't have that side of me, now the positive sides I'm going to point out in a minute would leave me incredibly vulnerable and susceptible to being abused, taken advantage of. So everything about our personality is sort of balanced in many aspects. I think some people lose sight of who they are because people tell them they're not good enough, and they bring them down and keep pounding at them to the point where they lose sight of all their greatness. It's actually a beautiful thing to have a loving personality. And I think if you just because you've maybe gone through life where it hasn't been reciprocated, don't lose that love. There's someone I absolutely adore. And I know the one thing they want more in life than anything, and that is to be appreciated. I know that. So it's like I said, there's someone who sort of has my heart, if you like, and I know that's what they want more than anything, to be appreciated and recognized for the nice things they do. I think they spend their life being taken advantage of, in all honesty. Going to leave that there just to show that there is this sort of balance thing and there's an insecurity in people. Now, with me, I would say I'm incredibly intelligent. I'm ambitious. I'm very resilient. I don't give up. I'm very caring. I can be funny and whimsical. There's a lot of people that miss that side of me because I've become a lot more serious of the past few years as I've sort of gone on a huge healing journey and sort of dissociated with a lot of people and sort of distanced myself while I sort of find this new me. I'm becoming far more confident, more of a leader, I guess. But yeah, I'm very caring. I'm very loving. Family is my first and foremost. But what I'm learning more is it's my immediate family, the family I'm creating. It's not necessarily what you're born into because you start to see issues once you start opening your eyes and you realize, wait a minute, is everybody really deserving? Or are they just taking advantage of you just like everybody else to a certain degree? Maybe not less noticeable. So I have an intelligent side to my personality. So that makes me a go-getter, makes me ambitious, makes me achieve an awful lot. I've done so much in terms of the books I've done, the podcast episodes I've created, the audio books, video content. It's anything I put my mind to, I fulfill for the most part. Unless I recognize that it's no longer serving me, it's a waste of time and energy, then I'm quick to drop it. I don't see the point of wasting my time just to prove a point. I'm not interested in proving anything to anyone. So that's a side of me as well. That makes me very resilient. I don't like following like the blind following the blind, if you like. If I think someone's an idiot or they're supposedly leading, but they don't have the skills, then I sort of lose interest and I won't follow them more on, if you like. So that makes I'm very outspoken, so I can be very critical of things. I say it like it is. It's either good or bad. Some people prefer that. I prefer that. So when I see that in someone else, I love it. I don't like people dumbing themselves down to make others comfortable. I'd rather just spoke. Very direct. Like I said, I can be funny and whimsical. I can be incredibly silly and goofy. I've shared content in the past where I'm like that. I've recognised that I'm not like that lately, and I want to get back to it at some point. But we're always evolving, There's a time and a place. At the moment, I'm on a very serious part of my journey. So yeah, only maybe the people in my inner sanctum will get to see that part more often. And they'll realise that is because some people may see my content and think I'm a very serious person. I have a serious side. Integrity and justice are my core values, so I'm very honest and sincere, even to my own detriment. I overshare, that's a problem. But a part of my journey is to document, to help heal other people. So if I don't share, how can people see what you've overcome? So I recognise in myself, and I wouldn't say I'm ugly. I'm not saying I'm the most handsome person in the world, but I think I'm very articulate. I'm an incredibly good communicator. So that's even the written word in spoken language. Now, how I'm doing it, I can talk for Britain. Again, these are little things. All these things we sometimes take for granted because it's us. We don't think we're remarkable. We're just us. But it's only when you maybe reflect and you realise some people can't talk as confidently. So like way I communicate, there's some people that have mannerisms that drive me nuts. They'll smack their lips a lot when they're talking. When I see video content, I'm like, that's an irritant. Some people keep licking their fingers. There's all these little ticks that people do. And I'm like, God damn, I can't watch this shit no more. I have to scroll on, It's an irritant. I think we all have things that bother us, and there's certain mannerisms that I can't handle. Some people, the way they present themselves in their videos are incredibly intense, but it's the way they are, very angry and I'm like, God damn, I can't watch all this shit. So I have a lack of patience for things that annoy me. Time is too critical. I won't. So I can't put up with some things, but I do recognise that my values are quite endearing, I think, and sort of to the right people, they really will be appreciated. To the wrong people, they'll know I see through their bullshit. They won't like being around me because I'm a mirror. I'm a mirror to their craziness, really. But to the right people, they'll appreciate who I am because they know what you see is what you get. I don't have hidden agendas. I say it like it is. It's refreshing to some. Like I said, it's polarizing to someone else. But that's me in a nutshell, obviously I'm probably going to miss things because I haven't got a planned list. I just thought I'd come on and just share that because I want people not to look at me and go, my God, he's amazing. No one's going to do that. People are always going to be sort of like, oh my God, so fully. I started it with that. I knew it would be like that. It's a point of look at yourself and recognize weaknesses and strengths. Own both sides. If you feel there's a weakness, it's work on it. And that's what I'm always doing. To some people who have a fear of their being their true self, being authentic, they will look at someone else and judge them for it. So maybe like I could say I'm all this and someone will say, oh, look at him full of himself. It's like, yeah, because I've been working on it, mate. If I see an issue with myself, so I could be confrontational, but I'm less confrontational now because I don't validate myself so much. It's like I don't care now. In the past, I tried to get my views across far more strongly. So if someone had a different opinion, I would try to change their perspective, it's almost like win an argument. Now I don't care about winning an argument. I don't care what someone else thinks if they don't believe in what I'm saying. It's like, do what you want, I'm it's like this, I used to put a lot of time into people. Now I'm more of a passive person in terms of I'll heal people passively. I will give them the tools. I'll show them how I overcome. I'll do all this. And it's up to them to implement it in their own life. But I'm not going to give all my time to it to do people on an individual basis. And it's the same when it comes to sort of these arguments now. It's like, it's not for me to convince someone of anything. I will just share my opinion and then they can do what they want. If they have a different opinion of that, don't waste your time arguing with me, mate, because I'm not even interested. It's like, we've spoke and that's it. I don't mind. A good conversation's good. So that's the difference. If you're having a friendly conversation, but it's when people start getting louder You know, it's like, oh, fuck off. I don't part with that shit anymore. You want to start getting loud, that doesn't win you the argument. It just makes you a dickhead. That's how I am now. Because that's what people do. You recognise, if once you observe people, you see it. Some people get very overbearing to get their point across. And it's like, for me, you've just lost control of yourself.